Hello, hello, hello. Hey, you guys, it is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Why do I like saying that so much? But yes, we are here for it. Community conversations, you guys. Community conversations. And so, let's see. That's a good topic to talk about today. Well, hello everyone. If this is your first time watching, I am Myrie Hayes. I'm affectionately known as the Group Home Queen. And so I do these trainings, talks, conversations, whatever you want to call it. It's very informal, and I do these to just basically educate people on the group home industry. So anything to do with group homes. I don't know everything. I will admit I don't know everything, but I do a lot of research, and I do talk to a lot of people and organizations in the industry, and I used to be able to remember everything. Not so much now, but I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they were asking me about different states, and I was telling, and they was like, "How do you remember this stuff?" It's because I live it, I breathe it, I dream about it, I saturate myself in it, and so it has become a part of me. Now, like I said, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. And I try to share the things that I know with other people in order to help them to be successful. And I won't say just in the group home business, but in business, period. I am all about entrepreneurship. I am all about, well, I will say in life. I try to help people with life because some of my subjects have nothing to do with group homes, but they can be a part of life and living and trying to be a blessing to someone else. And so that's what I try to do on a daily basis. And I try to set others up to do that also. Hey, Alanis. How's the baby? So I tonight, I guess, what we're going to talk about tonight, I had someone ask me in regards to they wanted to set their business up as a 501c3, and they wanted to know, could they be a contractor under their 501c3? Okay, so that was the question. So first of all, what is a 501c3? There might be someone out there that does not know what that is. A 501c3 is basically a nonprofit organization. So it's an organization that has tax exemption through the government, the IRS, or whatever you want to call it. But the thing about a nonprofit business or a 501c3 that people have to understand is you have to actually go through a process to get that designation. So you set up your business, but then you also have to go through another process. You have to have a board in order to be a nonprofit. There's no stipulations on how many people. I always suggest people do 3. You could do more than that, but you always want it to be preferably an odd number of people, just in case. So majority would win. So that way, if it's 8 people, it wouldn't be 4-4. It would be 9 or 7 people. And then that way when you vote, because the thing is, what you have to understand with the nonprofit is no one owns the nonprofit. So you're technically not the owner of the nonprofit. You are the person that governs the nonprofit. Okay, the board runs the nonprofit. So anything that needs to be put in place when you have a nonprofit is supposed to go before the board. There's other stipulations and things that you have to do. You have to have regular meetings. You have to take, what they call them, notes. Or they call them something else, but I can't think of it. But it's like notes. You need to take those when you're doing those meetings, because you have to have record of having those meetings with your board. There's different, things, also things that you have to do. If you're interested in doing a 501c3, a tax-exempt nonprofit business, just make sure you know everything involved before you get started. Okay, I do have mentees that have set up nonprofits. I also do have a nonprofit, and I use it. Now, my group home business is not a 501c3, but I do have a 501c3 that I use in unison with my nonprofit business. And so you just need to know everything that it entails when you're doing that, because with asking that question, the question was, can I be a contractor contracted through my nonprofit? First of all, I wouldn't do that. I'm just giving you my advice. I wouldn't do that. I would be a salaried employee of my nonprofit. Yes, I would receive a salary, which I do, from my nonprofit. But I would not be a contractor with my nonprofit. So just when you're setting up your nonprofit, or you going through the process, or if you already have the process, your board should have voted on what your salary would be. You are supposed to have a reasonable salary. So once you establish that with your board, then that would be your form of payment for working within your nonprofit business, which is your group home. And so you just want to make sure you set things up right. You want to make sure you do things right, because what you don't want to do is go through the process of having an audit or being looked at and have your, that nonprofit designation taken away from you. So I would, like I said, the way I do it and the way I would recommend that you do it, totally make sure you seek advice from your tax person, CPA, whoever you're using, your attorney, whoever. But the way I would do it is I would have the board establish a salary, and then that would be the salary that I would receive. I would not be a contractor with the nonprofit. Okay. All right. So let's see. I got a couple of comments. I was coughing a little bit, so I did a what do you call it? I did a cough drop. So excuse me if I'm talking kind of weird or muffled or something. Okay. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Nita. Minutes. I was like, I know it's notes. I can't think. I'm telling y'all this. I'm getting it together though. I'm doing HRT, hormonal therapy, and it's helping, but I'm still, words and things like that kind of leave my mind. So so let's see, any questions within that? A handful, level of everything is but after you get salary, you can't change it. I'm not saying you can't change it. The board can vote on a salary. Oh, the question was, but after you set a salary, you can't change it. Yes, you can change it. I mean, your nonprofit could be running for 100 years. You still going to have the same salary you had 100 years ago? No. You do what you do in a corporation. You vote on raises, and then that's what you receive. So yeah, you can change the salary. You can't change the salary, but the board can change the salary. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Nita. She answered it for you. Get a free score mentor to assist with setting up. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get a score mentor. Get a score mentor. That's a good business thing to get a score mentor. I actually have a score mentor that just to throw ideas off of and get advice from, because it's always good if you don't have anyone else. Now, of course, you guys, you have the community. Those of you who have established group homes have the Queen Circle that you can be a part of, and we can discuss and things like that. But if you're in a point where, and I'm not saying that score mentor will be able to specifically tell you how to run your group home, but it is good to have business-minded people around you that can assist you. And like I said, I have a score mentor that I actually talk to just because, I didn't have anybody in my family that had a business of this stature. And so I'm always trying to connect. I'm kind of over all the, I hate to say it that way. I'm over I'm not over it. I just kind of pull back because I had went to conferences. I'm telling you, I was going to a conference it seemed like every week the year before last. And then last year I went down to maybe once a month. Well, this year I'm kind of, because I'm kind of burnt on going to the conferences, and so you're not always in rooms with people that have business that are up and running, so you can throw ideas off and things like that. And that's why I'm always telling you guys, get in the room, because you end up being around people that you can kind of pull energy off of, that you can get new, fresh ideas, that you can do all the things. And I tell y'all all the time, I'm really an introvert. And so right now, I'm not saying I'm going to always do this, but right now I'm kind of pulling back from being in these big conferences because it takes a lot of energy from you. And then, a lot of times when I go, people are pulling information from me and things like that. And so it's just a lot. And so I have a couple of events for the rest of the year, but I have to guard my peace. And so I have to find other ways to be around like-minded people. You get what I'm saying? And so the score mentor, great program. Like I said, I have a score mentor myself. They don't know really anything about group homes, but they know business. So that's the thing. I try to pick and choose. I'm around people that know group homes, but then I need to be around people that know business. I need to know people that have investments. I need to know people that have property. So I try to strategically be around those type of people because that's all the things I have going on. And then I also try to be in groups for womanhood, becoming I'm 52 now, so I'm becoming older, how to handle that. I'm also around people, a grandparenting group because I want to be the best grandparent I can be. And so there's a lot of things that I am doing to become a better person. I'm still looking for, I'll leave that out. But I'm saying you should always be trying to be the best version of yourself. And so I said all that to say that Nita was right. A score mentor is a great thing to have. I might not be able to do a nonprofit because I honestly don't know anyone else. Okay, then that might not be the way for you to go. You know, you may want to go another way. You can always do a LLC. You can always apply for S corporation after you hit about 6 figures in your LLC. So there's other ways to do that. Like I said, my group home organization is a S corp. You know, it is not a nonprofit, but I do also have a nonprofit. Okay. Yes, I'm trying to protect my peace. Even when it hurts other people's feelings. Who's in your network? You can ask at your bank if anyone is willing to serve on your board. You can start with 3 board members. That's what I said. All you really need is 3. You just need an odd number, and it can't be 1. You know? So 3 is golden. If you are connected and you want to do 5, the thing that people don't understand, the people on your board just shouldn't be there because you need a board. They need to bring something to the table, the board table, okay? They need to be bringing something, because the thing is, if you're going to be a 501c3, a nonprofit organization, a tax-exempt organization, you need to be maximizing that. And so you need to have people that can bring money in somehow. Either they have money and they want to just have a tax write-off, or either they are bringing grants in, or they are connecting you with people, or they are fundraising people. They need to have some type of skill to add to your nonprofit. So don't just be like, hey, Shanae, girl, I need you to be on my board. And you know, all she do is sit at home and watch TV. That's not going to be an asset to your business, to your nonprofit, to your organization. Therefore, you need to find people that can bring something. And it may not be somebody you know. There's people that have people on the board, they specifically court that person to be on their board. You know, people do it all the time. And so, but that person needs to bring something. You know, don't just have lazy Thelma over there just showing up to meetings just because she can pop gum and take minutes good. No, she needs to be doing something outside of there. Okay? Yes. Let's see. Clap 100. Yes. And Alanis, don't just settle and say, well, I don't know nobody. What do you need to do to be successful? You have to break out of that. You need to have in your mind, what do I need to do to be successful? And then you need to focus on doing that. Because this is not comfortable for me, y'all. Now, once I get to rolling and stuff and thinking about it, because I'm passionate about it, it comes. But me having to do this, I had to work on this. Way back when I started, I've been doing this for years. I was telling one of my mentees, because she's just like, oh, she felt like she wasn't getting the traction that she needed. And I said, girl, I've been doing this for years. Like, I've been talking to people for years. 10 years. Really longer than that, but I'm just saying. So it's not that it's going to come natural and it's going to come fast. But you got to keep doing it. You just have to keep doing it until it becomes so normal. Now, I'm to the point where it's so normal. My family knows on Wednesdays, she's doing a live somewhere. YouTube, in the group, somewhere. You know, so it becomes a part of you the more you do it. And it's not that it feels comfortable. I get anxious sometimes. Before this, I was cooking some stuff up, and I was like, oh man, what am I going to talk about? And then I went and so I do kind of get in my head sometime, but the more I do it, like I can get up in front of anybody. I can jump on anybody's live. Somebody can say, hey, can you do a talk in front of my people? And I could be like, sure. And then I'll be like, okay, God, what do you want me to talk about? And then God will drop something in my spirit and I'm able to talk about it. So it doesn't come it didn't just come overnight. I didn't wake up, Myrie Hayes, the group home queen. This was work. This was consistency. This was doing it. So don't just say, I don't know anybody. If you don't know anybody and you want to be a part of the community, guess what? You're going to have to work on getting to know people. That's it. Because it's easy to stay in your comfort zone. But nothing grows in the comfort zone. You got to break through the seed. You got to grow. It's going to take some pruning, all the things in order to flourish. So don't just say that and leave it at that, okay? Let's see. How's it going with the person that's supposed to be finding grants for you? Slow. Very, very slow. I actually have, I think it's tomorrow. I think my next meeting is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So I have all the things, but it's going slow. So it is what it is. But like I tell people, I'm not counting on the grants. That's not my focus, grants. I'm just going through the process that she's telling me I need to go through to be grant ready. And then if I get a grant, then I get a grant. But I'm not making that death and, life and death. I got to get a grant. I'm not doing that. I just want to go through the process, honestly, so I can see if it happens, so I can help y'all, make life easier for you guys. So that's really, so I'm just working my way through the process. Yeah, but everyone that can bring something to the table is family. Hey, well, there it is. If they can actually bring something, then use them. I know I need to be networking. Yes, you need to be networking. And I'm going to tell y'all, it used to be so hard for me to walk in these rooms and talk to people. Sometimes I would literally go in a room full of people, and I would be like, oh my God. Because it's easier for me now, but back then I did not like talking to people. And then I would be like, oh God, what can I? And I would find a soft, friendly face. And I would be, or if you know how sometimes you go to these things and guys be looking at you and stuff like that. Or I would if some guy kept looking at me or something like that, then I would try to initiate it because they were already a friendly, maybe a warm connection. And so then I would start talking to them, and then that would kind of bring me out of my shell. And then I would talk to other people. But it was not easy. And when I say that, I'm not joking. It wasn't easy for me. But you have to start somewhere. And the thing is, you have to start. If you never start, you won't do it. There's so many people right now that just gave up. Yeah, there's people that I know personally. They literally have given up and just settled. And, and it's okay. You know, it's okay. If that's the life that they want to live, then it's okay because that's them. But that's not the life I wanted to live. And if that's not the life you want to live, then you're going to have to be in some really uncomfortable situations. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I'm awkward, but I'm going to just have to push. That's it. Push through. That's it. Just push through. And you can do it. You can do it. I have confidence in you that you can do it. I'm talking to myself, y'all. But yeah. But that's the only subject, the only question we have. Like I said, just be thorough. Do your due diligence if you're doing a 501c3 nonprofit tax-exempt business. I do know someone, if anyone is interested in doing a tax-exempt business, he's legit. His name is the Tax-Exempt Hero. And his name is Derek, but he goes by the Tax-Exempt Hero. And he has been doing this. He's actually in the group home industry in Georgia. And he has been doing this a long while. And so he has become very efficient in setting up nonprofits and showing you how to maximize your tax exempt business. He doesn't really like calling it a nonprofit. He calls it tax exempt. And so I will post his information in the chat once we're done. And if anyone is interested in reaching out to him, feel free. I'm just posting it because I know that he is legit. Y'all know there's a lot going on right now. And so you just have to be careful. Saying, but that's what we here for. That's right. That's right. You gotta push, Daniel. You gotta push. So does anybody else have some a question or some questions? I'm gonna go over what I have going on so you guys can know. I always want you guys to know. So let's see. This is June. June is just family and grandbaby time. But in July, I will be in Atlanta. I will be in Atlanta July the 10th through the 12th at the Flipology conference. And so I will be there with a lot of real estate people, real estate investors, just people in the real estate industry. I will be there doing a talk in regards to the group homes, of course, because y'all know I try to stay in my lane. So if it ain't about entrepreneurship or group homes, I ain't doing it. Let's see. That's July 10th through the 12th. And then after that, I will be at, let's see, July, August, September. No, not September, October. October, I will be in Dallas. Yes, I should write this stuff down for real. I will be in Dallas the first Saturday in, I think it's the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. The first Saturday in October, I will be in Dallas at the Ultimate Entrepreneur Seminar. And so I will be there speaking on how to basically turn your passion into profit. So that's the subject that I will be, and not specifically group homes, but just how to turn your passion into profit, which I did through group homes. How have you been? How have I been? I've been good. I've been good. Yeah, I have. I've been getting the time, you know, sometimes you need to pull back a little bit. I'm always doing things and pouring into people and talking to people and, you know, and pouring out. And I'm just like, my daughter graduated, and then my grandkids, they got out of school. And so I just wanted to spend some time with family. And so, and then y'all know I spoke at Job Corps, which is crazy. Spoke at Job Corps. They asked me to come and speak there at the graduation. And now they're closing all the Job Corps. Crazy. Yeah, so the director there reached out to me, what's today? Wednesday, Monday, and asked me could I write a testimonial up, because I think they're going to do a lawsuit or something to try to stop the pausing of Job Corps, which I'm kind of, you know, it's very disheartening. I always tell you guys I'm a graduate of Job Corps. I'm not ashamed of it or anything, and I know that it made an impact on my life. And so I went back and I spoke at the graduation, and now this month they're closing. Crazy. 25,000 displaced students. Totally crazy. But anyway, so yeah, so I have been recuperating. I have also I stopped doing my therapy on my legs for a while because I was just busy. And so, sorry. And so, I stopped doing my therapy, so now I am religiously doing that therapy because my legs are hurting again. And so just trying to get myself together so I can be the strongest that I can be, and also too so that I can be the best that I can be for you, you know, for you guys, and for myself and for my family. So yeah. So thank you for asking, Alanis. Thank you for asking. Yep. Yeah, they're closing, girl. They're closing. That's 25,000 people. Just, crime rate's gonna go up, you know, because these kids, they get a stipend and things like that. When they go to Job Corps, you get a stipend once a month to help pay for stuff. And then you have that education. They feed you pretty good. And that's just messed up. I was just thinking that's a big, like blow to the CNA pool. There's a lot of CNAs that came out of Job Corps, you guys. And so that is just crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of different programs. There's a culinary program, drafting, welding. They even had the train, people that work on trains. They had all of that. And so it's just very disheartening. And so you guys say a special prayer for Job Corps, because that is like big. 25,000 students across the country are now displaced, and, you know, and they provided shelter, you know, even though when I went to Job Corps, I didn't actually live on campus, but yeah, they provide shelter to a lot of students also. So like I said, y'all say a special prayer for the students and families of Job Corps, and yeah. But well, I guess that's it. I didn't see any additional questions or anything, you guys. So yeah, so I appreciate those of you that showed up today. And if you guys have anything that you want to discuss or any questions, make sure you put it within the community so we can you know, get you taken care of. All right? Okay, you guys. Well, I'm going to go eat my dinner. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of the week. I will see you guys same place, same time next week. And as I always say, be a blessing to someone else. Goodbye.